and kill something with status effects. And the minute you do, oh my god, did you see that? Right off the rip, we're hitting for over 1 million. No stacking. What's up, Agent Sam? Welcome back to another Division video, where I've got a build for you today that does an insane amount of always on status damage. But it's not a status effect build. This is not a skill build. This is basically a shooty build that gets overlooked a lot of the time. We're at Grand Washington Hotel, and the first thing that you want to do to get this build going is either use an iron lung or a regular gun and kill something with status effects. And the minute you do, oh my god, did you see that? Right off the rip, we're hitting for over 1 million. No stacking, nothing crazy. All we had to do was use a skill to basically get them on status effect. And you're pretty much golden now at this point. You just kind of run and gun. You haven't got any survivability built in, so you know, I wouldn't be Rambo if I was you. But if I told you as well this build gets better while running in a team, I wouldn't be lying. It really does as well. I hit for 1.5 million though then. Now there's a couple of different ways you can run this, and I'll show you the options in just a moment. We'll clear this room out. But when I say this is essentially one of the best builds in the game, this is one of the best builds in the game. And if just watching it right now doesn't prove that to you, I mean, I don't know what would. It's absolutely insane. So this is the build, and you probably got it. Maybe you run it, maybe you've not updated it. I've essentially slid in overdogs and a new unit alloys backpack just to make it better than what it already was. But there's a couple of things you can do if you want to change things around. Namely, you could change this talent. So at the moment you can see applying a status effects increases total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds. So if you're going to run the carnage like I am with a crit chance on and perfect sadist, amplifies weapon damage by 35% to bleeding enemies. This is great as far as combinations go. You're going to do the most damage. Obviously it doesn't do well against dogs. It doesn't do well against mini tanks. They don't bleed, and therefore you're not applying that status effect to doing the damage. So you are going to have to just put up with just regular damage against them. It still works brilliantly. You know, you're not going to be underpowered. You're not going to not be able to not kill them and, you know, kind of come unstuck or anything like that. But you can run this another way around as well. And what we'll do is we'll do that for the next room. What we'll do is we're going to flip this to creeping death. And it's not really bleed that we're too bothered about now, because spreading bleed doesn't really do too much. Bleed's probably the weaker of all of the status effects as far as damage goes and CC and things like that. It does send them a little bit crazy, but not too much. But what we can do now is we can flip to the iron lung. And obviously the iron lung will apply fire. You can see here, shooting heats up the weapon, filling up the heat meter. The meter is equivalent to 50% of the weapon standard magazine size. When the meter is full, rounds shot by the weapon ignite enemies. And at that point then, not only are you buffing your team because you are supplying them with bleed bullets, you're also going to be CCing for the team as well. So it really does depend where you're kind of up to. If you want a bit more of a CC type build, maybe you're not quite as min-maxed as I am, and you're thinking, do you know what? I want to min-max as well. Obviously though, there you go. As you can see, they both got set on fire. They both got shoved out of cover, and it made it for easy kills. So two different ways of running the build. Both a little bit different, but really just depends what you are looking for. And as you can see already, you know, we are bleeding and setting them on fire in some cases. And don't forget as well, We've still got our handy Banshee pulse. I'm surprised it didn't spread to that man up there then. Whoa!
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I'm going to do the next bit, because the next bit they tend to go in cover and are a little bit hard to kill. And I'm wondering if the CC is just going to make it really, really easy.
I'm gonna detonate it.
Watch out for the asbestos. But we didn't kill him in time to spread the fire, unfortunately.
Doing all right there, Kelso?
As long as I'm not breathing asbestos.
So yeah, so two different ways of running it, and you know, very, very quick changes that you can do on the fly if you find yourself in a situation where you need to do that, or you end up in a team or something like that, and you want to be a little bit more useful. To be perfectly honest though, the Creeping Death variant for me is probably not one that I would bother running too much. I would much rather have always on damage from Wicked. You don't have to run Wicked, but there's no downside to Wicked, it just works. So although it is less damage than Vigilance and Unstoppable Force, there is zero downside. Whereas obviously with Unstoppable Force, you've got to stack it, you've got to get kills. Vigilance, if you get hit, you lose it. With this, you've just got an always on 18% weapon damage with zero downside, because you will always have them bleed bullets, because you've got so many ways of making sure you keep them on. It's yeah, it's just really, really, really easy. So just before I show you the build, I am going to nip back to the base of operations. I did a build video before and I'm not sure if I took LMG damage off my gunner spec, so I just want to check, because obviously if I did, we know that the build will do even more damage than what it's actually demonstrated. No, we have got it on, so we're all good, so that is perfect. If we were to look at the stats, you can see we're 58.5 crit chance, 129 critical hit damage. We do drop a little bit when you switch to the Iron Lung, but I'll take it for the use case scenario. I don't mind too much dropping that little bit. As long as it's not dropping into the 40s, I'm not too worried. Get yourself a Carnage. I've got critical hit chance on it with Perfect Sadist, amplifying weapon damage by 35% to bleeding enemies. It has 150 mag size, which is great. You can also get the Web Spinner skin. I don't know if you're able to buy it or not, but I think it looks amazing. It's one of the great OG type skins in the game. I think it looks really, really good, especially coming from a Spider-Man fan. My Iron Lung is crit chance rolled as well. I tend to roll a lot of my LMGs to crit chance rather than damage to armor or damage to health, because crit chance is always on no matter what you're fighting. And for me, I feel that pays long term. You know, obviously you could have multiple LMGs depending on the content that you are running that might pay off, getting some more damage from perhaps having damage to armor and things like that. If you're running a lot of legendaries, if you're running a lot of masters and things like that, they will eventually win out. Sports mode for the offhand, because yeah, why not? Then we've got Overdogs, which help with damage a huge amount. We've got a Unit Alloys backpack rolled with Wicked, crit chance, crit damage, crit chance, with rate of fire there as well, which obviously buffs our rate of fire a little bit on the Carnage, which is well received because it is a slower shooting LMG. We've got an ongoing directive mask with status effects, reload speed, which again works in our favour because we're using LMGs. And we'll go through the talent in just a little bit. We've got the holster with the weapon damage, crit chance. We've got the knees with weapon damage, crit hit damage. And then when it comes to the chest piece, we're definitely going to run the chest piece over any other high-end chest piece, because as you can see here, the talent increases hollow point ammo weapon damage amplification to 50%, which, considering we're running a gear set and we lose some bonuses from attributes, this is a huge increase in damage, which makes it really nice. So the 4-piece bonus is Rules of Engagement. Shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark, which is why when we first started off, we shot a Banshee Pulse straight away so that we could apply that mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon and half a clip of the agent's active weapon to the rest of the party. Obviously, we're using an LMG. That's 75 bullets to our team, potentially depending on what guns that they're running, giving them a full clip. Marks last for 10 seconds, which is plenty of time. Our time to kill is really good. And then hollow point ammo amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit, making it so the fact that it just reapplies over and over and over and over again. But what you got to remember is here, we said this just before, the talent increases hollow point ammo weapon damage amplification all the way to 50%. Now that doesn't apply to your team members. That only applies to us, but it's a lot of damage if you're going to be running solo, or if not, it's still an insane amount of damage. And this is one of my favorite, builds in the game. It's incredibly good. It's incredibly casual, and it's incredibly easy to put together. And there's nothing here that you can't farm in Countdown or Retaliation. You'll be able to pick everything up really, really quickly if you've not already got it in your stash to kind of throw together. So yeah, highly recommended for all content in the game. Like I said, it doesn't pay off too well when it comes to white and black tusk, but only when it comes to the mini tanks and the dogs. But you'll still, you're all red. You're still going to do a lot of damage. You're still going to be able to take them down really, really easily. That's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. As always, we're blasting all the way in 2026 to that 50k, hopefully. So hit the channel with a subscribe if you've not already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.